Welcome to day 2 of this month's Adventures in Tarot Casting, October 2025. From yesterday, we pulled today's casting sticker, which is the shadow casting. Here's the spread, and then the placements you can kind of see on the sticker here. Here's the card. So what is unique about this particular spread and backdrop is I really wanted, when I set out to draw it, I really wanted something that kind of emulated, we have the hermit's lamp, and then we have like this cliff, so it could also be like the fool's cliff, and then we have this cave, right? And the cave is like a skull, and it's that place that we, maybe our place of our own torment, our own shadow, how we confront the shadow. Sometimes we feel trapped within that, and then it holds us back from reaching our full potential. Even if it looks close, we look at the bridge and we see it's rickety, and we just might not have enough confidence to go and do the thing. The background, I drew all these little ghosts coming up from whatever this is, and then we have like a little eye of protection here. And then in the writing on the page is this writing that I do sometimes that is a way for me to get my thoughts out and just scribble writing. It's like asemic writing, I think is what it's called, where it really doesn't have a meaning. That's like these things on my fingers. My friend Jason tattooed them on me, and that's what it was. They don't mean anything. They're just designs. But so these are thoughts that became just part of the design. So of course I have the crows coming over, and it's like bringing it all around, but it was like confronting our shadow, right? And so in this particular spread, we have a few different placements. We have the one that's in the cave, and this is that energy that's holding us hostage. It's funny, I actually used this spread as a impromptu example for one of my classes when I taught at Northwest Tarot Symposium a few years back. And it read me for filth in front of everybody, which was really, kind of appropriate, because sometimes our shadow becomes so big to carry. And that's kind of what the turtles here is, like that carrying the world on our backs, right? And also, so we have the oracle here that can be something that's helping to carry us from the shadows to clarity. And I thought it would be really neat to just go through these spread positions in today's video and use some decks from my vast collection that are theme appropriate almost, right? So for some reason, the Somnia Tarot really came out, and this deck by Nicolas Bruno is just exquisite and gorgeous. And I know there's like a new edition coming out or something like that. I don't know if it's a new edition. I think there's an oracle. And it was based off of night terrors. And so I thought that would be really great. Like, what's more appropriate than a deck that is kind of in the nightmares, right? And then we have the Shadows edition, which is the expansion pack for the Lucky Potion Oracle by Richard Howdy from Odd Mix Market. So we're going to use that as the oracle card. And then I have this oracle as well, which is, I think it's the White Witch Oracle. Yeah, it says it right there. The White Witch Oracle, bagged by Moonlit Fae. And then instead of Lenormand tiles, I'm going to use the 1889 Lenormand Oracle, because it is a tiny deck. Look at how cute this is. It's almost like the tiles without the tile, right? So we're going to use that as our Lenormand cards. Okay, so let's just get into it, right? So the first position, which is this, we're bringing us into this cave. And, we're not going to do a huge reading. Like I said, these aren't meant to be readings. They're meant to just kind of give you an idea of the positions and the spreads and just the stickers that we have. And also the debut of the Casting Cards Oracle deck. And so this is going to be one of the cards. So as an oracle, this could show up alongside, your tarot spread. And you could say, oh, this has got to do with the shadows. This has got to do with my own things that I'm carrying with me. So let's see. We have our in the cave, and I'm going to actually just do these in the placement. I'm not going to turn them over yet. So we've got 1, 2. This position 2 is the light, and this is the card that's helping us see through. And then this one is the bridge. And so we've got that. So let's see what those want to chime in for this share and tell, right? Okay, so the cave, which is the energy holding us hostage, and we've got the sun. I love when the shadow is actually a quote unquote good card, because you would think that the sun is something that shouldn't hold you hostage, but like if you're fair skinned or if you just don't, you can get burned. I always think of getting burnt by the sun. I don't tan, I get burnt. That's what comes out to me as kind of like the shadow of the sun. And it could be too much being out in the spotlight, or maybe what's holding me back or us back is not wanting to go out and show our full self, right? So that can be that energy. That can be how a good card can kind of go awry. And so then we have the light, which is here to help us see the way, a new promise. And so we have the Seven of Wands. And it's saying, okay, and now I see those two pairing together, and it's saying, but I don't want to go out and show up in the world and share my gifts, or, you know, that makes it real. It's much easier to not have the negativity or to not have other people's opinions or anything like that. To be seen is hard sometimes. So the Seven of Wands, which is not a negative card, but it's a card that isn't always like, oh, you would want to see something really positive maybe over here in the light. But this is saying to me, whenever I see it, it's stand your ground, you know, keep your boundaries in check. You can still show up and keep your boundaries in check, right? And so the bridge then, when we get to this one, we go, well, what needs to be overcome? Like, what is it that we're going to walk through these steps, you know, getting our footing right? And that's the Three of Coins. And it shows me that maybe there's teamwork, there's an effort that needs to happen in order for the brightness to not feel so bright or burning or whatever that is, you know. And so then we have like this Oracle card here, which can be, you can do it, I have it as A and B, which are optional. And this is like, the A is the energy that's helping carry us from these shadows. And let's just give this a quick shuffle. There's only a few cards, so I'm just going to shuffle it like this. And since this is the Shadows Oracle, I'm curious to see how it's going to help usher us, right? And it's also good to kick off the Samhain season. Okay. So experimentation. So how can that help? How can that help carry? And it's like trying different things, experimenting, getting out in the world in different ways. You know, I'm gonna just layer it over there. How, you know, to get out in the world and just see it. And I also love that on this is like the swirl from Nightmare Before Christmas type of mountain here. And that's one of my favorite movies from, I saw it so many times in the theater, all that thing. And I see that and it's like, Jack dared to do something different. He dared to experiment and do things like that. So to see that in conjunction of the Sun and the Seven of Wands is saying, go out in the world and be yourself, have your boundaries in check, and also, you know, experiment. Every day is not going to be the same. Every day is a learning lesson though, right? So then we're going to bring us into this oracle. We'll throw this up here. And this is the lookout. This is a message to get us moving. And again, there's not a lot of cards in this deck, so we're just going to shift it, reconsider. And that's letting me know that you can always go back and hide in your shadow and keep this light to yourself, you know, but reconsider the things that you're telling yourself. There's so many different ways that can be seen as far as the options come to mind, right? So this is like the sentinel lookout of this particular spread is just that like moon point. And then if you have the tiles, you could use tiles. Like I said, we're going to use a small Lenny deck, the 1889 lay carts. I'll put all the links in the notes. And so these, we kind of jumped from position 1, 2, 3 to the oracles to the A and B. And now we have 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. And these are what's rising up from the depths. And, you know, go 1, 32. So we have the moon, the sun, and stars. And I didn't necessarily shuffle them greatly, but that's okay. Moon, suns, and stars, and then above, and this is the message from the universe to kind of keep us going. And you can interpret them in any type of way, right? Like, once this conversation starts to unfold, it's kind of like yesterday's video, how the cards all chime in. That's the whole point of this spread, because we are confronting our shadows in this spread. So we're going, okay, your biggest fear is being seen, but you can be seen and have boundaries. Teamwork, go out with, start small, go out with people to help you get out in the world. Experiment with it, reconsider your options, and then rising up from the depths, we have the moon and the sun and the stars, which I know it's not the meaning of the Lenormand, but that's just basically all of the guiding lights in our life. We wish upon a star, we have cycles like the moon, the sun shows up, so we have it showing up twice, but it could just go out there and just understand that you're only you, right? And then we have, above, we have the key, the gentleman, and the letter. And so that, over here, these are, rising, these are the message from the universe, and it could literally be talking about your access, is the notes from the universe, maybe text messages. The key is saying this is a giant yes, so no matter what we do, getting out of our own heads, getting out of our own way is going to give us access, and then we're going to be able to, perhaps like seeing it with that, the gentleman. I always think about, especially if this is a me personal reading, I would look at that as my partner, and knowing that he's part of my team, so he's what helps me understand my own personal access to things. I can talk it through with him. I can share the notes and maybe some journaling pages that I've been doing. But if you were doing this for a collective reading, I usually look at the 28 card, which is the gentleman or the man card, as more of an active energy, not passive. So it's going out and doing the thing, maybe getting out of your own head and out of getting out in the world, which again is the whole point, like that cave, it's what's keeping us hostage, is being afraid of being burnt, is going, okay, well, maybe the correspondence that we need to do is to access those people that we already know we have an in with. It could be like maybe there's a conference that you've been wanting to attend and a couple people. So you can just see, hey, do you need helpers? Do you need, like put yourself in a position of being able to have a role. That way it's not just showing up, it's having something to do while you're there. Like, these are like all different ways that it can be interpreted, so this is how I would interpret this spread. I could go on and go deeper and deeper. The point of these videos obviously is to show you how we can use them and how we can add them to our own practice. And even as an oracle, the shadow card is saying, okay, maybe there's something about this spread, if you were using it with tarot, that needs you to confront your shadow. And then you can take that card and go find your sticker, or if you don't have a sticker yet, it's okay. If you got the card decks from me, towards the end of the month, I'll have an actual link for these. But then you could give this spread a test run. So let us pick tomorrow's. We're gonna shift this out of the way. We're gonna shuffle this and see what tomorrow's is gonna be. I know it's only day 2, but if you've been enjoying these, please let me know in the comments. I love to interact with you. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Share with your tarot curious friends. I feel like right now, the world, we really need community, and this is my way of showing up in community for all of us and all of you. And I'm just really having fun so far. So tomorrow's is going to be Illumination. And Illumination is another one that's kind of a multicasting. Let me get it upright. It's a multicasting one, so that's good. So it keeps us on theme with a lot going on. So I'll pick some fun decks to go with that. And I will see you here tomorrow for day 3. Thanks again. Talk to you later. Bye.